Hello guys, JS here with a Day 2 recap of ESL 1 Frankfurt 2016. Day 2 is a continuation of the group stage where two of these teams will join Vega and OG in the playoff and the rest are eliminated from the tournament. And in the first series, Team Liquid was going up against Fanatic. On Day 1, Fata could not play for Team Liquid due to illness, but he has returned for Day 2. In the first game, Fnatic attempted a Medusa draft to go late game against Liquid, and despite having a decent early game by getting good farm on all of their cores, they were never able to shut down Fata's Alchemist. As Fnatic tried to 5-man behind Medusa to get some objectives, Liquid was able to just split push and outfarm them, and eventually overpowering Fnatic, taking game 1. In game 2, Fnatic had a great early game by getting almost 10k advantage. However, one questionable fight, they gave the advantage back to Liquid. 30 minutes into the game, Fnatic was able to pick off the Death Rocket, giving them a chance back into the game. But Mind Control on the Void landed a 5-man Chronospear on Fnatic, denying them of their chance and securing Liquid's 2-0 victory. In the second series, we have a battle between two CIS powerhouse, virtus.pro and Navi. The first game of the series was a pure display of constant aggression and fighting from the very beginning, which is something CIS teams are well known for. VP had a great start from the game, as they were winning majority of fights early and getting advantage from the trades. But as the game went on, there were some small misplays from VP in the mid game, and some crazy outplays from the Navi side, which turned the game around for them. As Navi slowly gained advantage to the game, they never gave VP a chance to come back, and took the game 1 from there. In game 2, the game was quite even throughout the early and the mid game. However, Navi's draft was not very strong late game. Their support of Bounty Hunter and Chen did not scale very well, and had minimal effect in the fights late into the game. And Navi only had one single DPS output, which is Saban. He was easily kited by VP, and VP was able to tie up the series 1-1. In the final deciding game, VP dominated Navi in the laning stage. G played a great game on the Magnus. He almost doubled Dandy's net worth 15 minutes into the game because he won his lane handily. However, Navi as a team was able to stay composed and found some great fights, which evened up the game. This Roshan fight was basically the game deciding moment. VP's carry, Slark and Magnus sacrificed their life and only killed support Shadow Shaman, giving Navi, Roshan and Aegis, and as well as the game. This means both Fnatic and virtus.pros are the first ones to be eliminated from the tournament. In the final series of Group A, Alliance took on Team Liquid. In Game 1, Alliance once again picked Terrorblade for Loda, which seemed to be his go-to carry this tournament. And Alliance had a pretty good early game. However, as the mid-game approaches, Liquid was able to maneuver better than Alliance, getting pickoffs on them all over the map. Alliance had a chance to regain their advantage at around 30 minutes. They were able to smoke and get a great team fight going their way. However, instead of killing Roshan and taking the Aegis, they decided to pursue the stragglers from Liquid, which unfortunately turned out poorly for Alliance. From that point on, the game began to look grim for them. Liquid had the heroes in the lockdown to deal with Loda's Terrorblade late game, which means Liquid was able to push their advantage and secure game 1. In game 2, Alliance picked an early game push lineup of Venge, Drow, and Nature's Prophet, as well as Brewmaster to further strengthen their early game. However, they fell considerably behind the laning stage, which made their game plan very difficult to execute. Alliance tried their best to stay in the game by finding pickoffs mid-game, and they prolonged the game much longer than many would have thought. But eventually, Liquid was able to overpower them, taking the series 2-0, advancing to the playoff, as well as knocking out Alliance. And finally, the last series of the day was Navi versus Complexity. Game 1 of the series was very even for most of the game, and it really could have went either way as both teams had their chances. However, the last pick Timbersaw proved to be the best pick possible against Complexity's 3-strength core lineup. Dandy finished the game with 12 kills, 4 deaths and 7 assists, as Navi takes game 1. In game 2, Soneko's jungling Sand King was able to secure Navi's early game with his early roams, allowing Dandy and Didier to get significant farm advantage on Tinker and Lycan. From there, Navi cruised to a 23-minute victory as they advanced to the playoff, knocking out Complexity. And with that, the playoff bracket is set. Vega will take on Navi, and we'll have the Manila Grand Final rematch between OG and Team Liquid. This concludes my Day 2 recap of ESL 1 Frankfurt, and these are the game highlights I've uploaded today and I recommend checking out. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe and like my video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.